It now emerges that the Intergovernmental Authority on Development IGAD member countries have agreed to unite against South Sudan rebel leader Riek Machar at the expiry of the 4-day IGAD ultimatum, which President Salva Kiir and Machar were supposed to hold peace talks. The deadline ends at midnight today, and Machar has reportedly not shown any commitment to ending the conflict, triggered by an attempted coup last week. Rebel forces allied to Machar are said to have made significant advances toward Jonglei state.
As the deadline draws nearer, the hopes for ending the conflict in South Sudan now appears like a mirage. The South Sudan army is reported to be preparing for a counter-attack from rebels who are under the leadership of former Vice President Riek Machar, said to be advancing towards Jonglei state. The rebels have been leaving a trail of destruction. Malakal town remains a ghost town. Its occupants have moved to the UN compounds. Most of the shops have been looted. According to an army spokesperson, the rebels have resorted to giving weapons to civilians to boost numbers. While the conflict has degenerated into a tribal one, Riek Machar is also fighting for the control of resources, where Malakal, the capital city of Upper Nile State, currently supplies all of South Sudan's crude oil. The conflict could soon, however, widen into a regional one, after details emerged of what specific actions IGAD had agreed to take should the negotiations fail to take place.
We gave Riek Machar some 4 days to respond, and if he doesn't, we shall have to go for him, all of us. That's what we agreed in Nairobi.
Mr. President, when you say you'll go for him, what does that mean? And
to defeat him.
He has mobilized his tribesmen using his tribal affiliation. Now the battle is now trying to turn the battle into a tribal conflict.
The number of displaced people during the 13 days of fighting has risen to 121,600 people, with well over 1,000 others killed.
And I want to congratulate General Salva for defeating this fellows in the town here. And I hear they're in the provinces trying to make trouble. But they will be defeated if they don't come for peace.
We sent out an aerial reconnaissance flight to try to pinpoint where exactly these groupings of armed youths currently find themselves and estimate their overall numbers.
Machar insists that his conditions for release of political prisoners must be met before he can consider ceasefire. Esther Kahumbi, Citizen at 1.
All right. Now, their joint ticket was dismissed and ridiculed as the coalition of the accused. But Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto rode the ICC wave to clinch victory in the hotly contested and disputed election of March 4th, 2013, when the Supreme Court upheld the election of Uhuru Kenyatta as president and William Ruto as his deputy. The deputy president was overcome by emotion, even shedding tears in church. 9 months on, the deputy president describes their victory as a miracle. The nascent government has seen a mixed bag of fortune, scoring highly on infrastructure development, struggling with industrial unrest, and a brush with a largely robust media, unwilling to be put down by an edgy executive. Our senior features writer, Evelyn Wambui, sat with the deputy for a review of the year, and here now is the first in our series, Newsmakers 2013.
So, yeah, like if now I'll move 2 steps there, and then you can move the same.
When it comes to chess, it's all about strategy.
Only?
Only.
It doesn't move this way?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Concentration, critical thinking, pattern recognition.
Good, good, good.
But not when you're playing against an eager beginner.
Then this one is called the bishop. Yes.
Deputy President William Ruto may not be as conversant with the rules of this game of kings.
So huyu bishop biashara yake ni nini, haombi?
Bishop, Yeye ni ku protect the castle. So anaenda huku anakuwa so you see there are two of them like this.
Mbona anaitwa askofu? Anaitwa bishop why?
I don't know why he's called a bishop. I'm assuming because he's the one who is protective of the house that is the castle.
But he sure knows a thing or two about its main objective, strategy.
Knowing the directions and the role and the name of each one, how would you describe yourself? Would you describe yourself? Of course, you're not the pawn.
Maybe bishop.
Bishop. Oh, that is right.
Maybe bishop.
Yes.
This bishop that prays occasionally. You say there is no prayer around here.
Not the king.
No, the king's business is just to go around here.
Yes.
He's not a hustler.
Yes, no, he's not. He's just very limited in movement. So you're the bishop.
Yeah, bishop I think moves around.
It's easy to draw comparisons between this playing field and the general political playing field, from the pieces that each contribute in their own special way to achieving the end objective.
You have moved from being a pawn all the way up. How would you describe?
You think so?
I think so.
The fact that I have come this far equally puts a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. That I really have a burden on my shoulders that it cannot be for nothing. That God has allowed me to come this far.
To how the players involved carefully calculate their every move with their eyes set squarely on the ultimate crown.
Would I be right to say that you are the master of strategy? Are you a strategist?
I don't know whether you call it strategy, but I think it's just a question of being organized, you know, and looking at situations objectively, not underestimating any situation or not exaggerating any situation. And then I move one step there.
And then I will get you.
Why?
Every game is different, just like every set of players. There are those that end just as soon as they begun.
If the queen is captured, then
the game is over.
yes, you say checkmate, and that's the end of the game.
And those that could continue intensely for long periods of time.
People would argue that the reason why the Jubilee coalition was together was because of this ICC. You faced the same challenges, and that's what united you. Looking forward, maybe if now the cases will not be there, do you foresee a situation where the coalition will remain?
Evelyn, you know, we come from a very background that people are used to games and quarrels and divisions and complaints, you know. Kenyans must get out of that mindset, and it's good for the people of Kenya to know. Those who expect the president and myself to disagree are in for a rude shock, because we know better.
Strategies may also change halfway through this ancient long game, depending on the moves made so far and what is now at stake.
The president is on record as telling the nation and competitors, wait, this is the plan. I'm taking 10 years, and then I will pass the baton to my deputy for another 10 years, and then if you want to contest after that, then you're free. Do you share that same vision? Are you willing to wait 10 years before you're shot at presidency?
Why not? I am very clear in my mind that President Kenyatta is a capable Kenyan, and he has what it takes to turn around this country. In 5 years' time, we will go to the polls, and I will support the candidature of Uhuru Kenyatta, because I believe that we will just be halfway through what we have planned for the next 10 years. After that, God willing, when the president exits, of course, I will try a shot at the presidency.
The case against President Uhuru Kenyatta is sort of fizzling or dwindling, if you'd call it that. What is your strategy? Are you intent on making sure that your case comes to an ultimate end?
If the case against the president, or let me put it correctly, when the case against the president finally curtains fall on it, it will really be very good news for this country. Even if, for whatever reason, the matter against me will still continue, at least one of us will be a lot freer and can move things faster.
In the game of chess, just like in any dynasty, there are those pieces that work at both keeping the game in motion as well as protecting the major players. But sometimes, either because of lack of tact or haste, they make a wrong move, shifting focus and dimensions.
It's not like a church. When you go to church, you tell people, let's stand up so that we sing a hymn. And everybody stands up and we sing a hymn. You tell them we are going to sing stanza number this, and everybody goes to that page. You tell them it's time to pray, and everybody bends their heads for prayer. In politics, sometimes you say, let us stand to sing a hymn. Others sit down intentionally, you know, and many of those things. So there will be noises here and there, people out of ignorance sometimes, out of malice. We will keep our team, telling them, focusing them on what will change Kenya, and removing little petty stories and assertions. Oh, my community did not get this, my village did not get that.
Hii maneno yote mnasikia imejazwa kwa magazeti. Oh, sijui opinion poll. Oh, sijui mvutano ya nusu mkate nini. Hiyo watajaza kwa magazeti. Tutasoma, siku ya pili tufunge naye nyama, lakini serikali ya Jubilee iende mbele.
Many will argue that there is no support for media freedom from the Jubilee government. Is there support for media freedom?
Nobody is saying the media should not write anything. Write whatever you want. About me, about the next person, about that institution, about the other. But there must be a mechanism also that if you write because you are exercising your democratic constitutional freedoms under the Bill of Rights, and you infringe on mine or the next person, I mean, there should be a mechanism for me to complain somewhere. Honestly, Evelyn, you can't tell me that you want to exercise your rights, and if you infringe on mine, there is no mechanism for me to seek redress, and it is fair. It's not fair.
The year in review for the Deputy President has a mix of both high and low moments.
Of course, the winning of the elections, of the last general elections, was a miracle for us, and it was a big high for me. The low was having to stand in The Hague and to respond to what I believe are unfounded and malicious charges. That was terrible.
That and a lot of adjusting since his status changed to Kenya's second in command.
I used to enjoy driving myself around. That's no longer possible. One afternoon I was at home and I said, okay, let me drive to the office to do something. So I got into the car and I drove to the gate. So when I got to the gate, the askari there, I thought he didn't see me. So I opened the window, you know, and told him, please. And then he didn't open the gate. And then I stepped out and asked him, my friend, what's the problem? I want to go Nini, and he said, I'm sorry, I cannot open the gate. I told him why. He said, no, you know, it's not right, and maybe let me call the security guy.
But the thing he is grateful for most is his continued rapport with President Uhuru Kenyatta.
I have been trying to force him to go to the gym. I have not succeeded yet. Of course we talk a lot, and we laugh a lot. It is very good.
Ruto is intent on crafting just one agenda in this game of politics.
There is a great, tremendous potential for our country, and it's going to take committed and focused men and women to be able to unlock that potential, and I intend to be part of the leadership that will make sure that that happens.
This husband and father maintains little has changed since I first sat with him for our yearly review 3 years ago.
You know, I still do those things you left me doing. Yeah?
The gymming and...
Yeah, I do. You can see I have I've been successful,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But a quick glance at his chamber alone reveals plenty of changes, experimenting with food crops and agricultural practices that have since seen him triple his amount of produce. He, however, remains focused on yielding even more ground in his role as farmer, just as in his role as politician, both of which he doesn't plan on quitting from anytime soon.
Mateso. They say the media fellows are dictators. Look at what you've done to me. How else? Who else would have forced me to sit in the sun?
Evelyn Wambui for Newsmakers 2013.
All right. Many thanks indeed, Evelyn Wambui. It's part of our job.